just went down the slide. I just went down the slide. I just went down this slide. And I'm done. You should always bring your camera with you wherever you go. It can affect your workflow and change how the way you compose and look at the world around you. Now, I know a lot of people are probably like, I always carry my camera with me. I have my phone with me. And to be honest, your phone is probably one of the best tools that you can carry with you because it's very accessible. You can just take out your phone, point and shoot, and call it a day. We're used to the phones. We're used to the DSLR, the small point and shoots, the compact cameras. But what about other tools like a GoPro or even a drone? Me personally, I love the drone. I go everywhere with my drone. Why? Because that aerial shot just gives you a very different point of view. Any given time that I use my drone, I always look for things that allow me to compose a shot where I wouldn't normally think about. It's kind of weird. It's my workflow, but I usually just pick some sort of method, whether it be a leading line, whether it be the golden circle, something, negative space. And I choose one of those and I say, let me just put this drone in the sky, see what I can pick. And a lot of times you can just be creative with your shot because there's so much going on, the way that the architects have designed these buildings, the way that the natural landscape of the earth is, you can just create something very good. Time to get the drone out. Oops. Out with the drone. See if we can get some shots. This drone never disappoints me. I put it up in the air. There was a Kentucky Derby style racing going on. At least it was early morning. They were getting prepared. And I put this drone in the air, and believe me when I say it was just breathtaking. It looked like a scene out of a movie. I wanted to see exactly what was going on in the actual area. So I took the drone a little bit further past it, got to see the city line, the way the streets are composed, the way the trees are composed. And like everything is just beautiful. And that's one of the things that I love about carrying a drone. You can never go wrong with that. And normally when you carry your camera, it's really just about capturing the moment. It's never really about creating the moment. And that's one of the simple things about the drone because a lot of things are stationary. It's about creating what you see there. You might catch a bird that passes or whatever, but it's about creating that moment, creating that landscape picture that you always wanted to capture. Personally, like to carry around my GoPro. Like I said, I was on a road trip. Everywhere I went, I had the stick in my hand, GoPro, just carrying around. Now, this is more for the content creator type of person, the videographer, or even photographer, where you just want to capture that moment. You want to capture what's happening right in front of you so that you can actually upload it, create some sort of content, whether it be for TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, or whatever, and you can get some good quality pictures out of it. Same thing applies for your phone as well, but when you have the GoPro, you're just a little bit more fluid because now you can capture a wider shot away from you, encompass more of your surroundings with you. And these are the things that help create your story when you're creating videos for these platforms or even for YouTube itself, because now you have a more compelling, how shall I say, package of videos or media files that you can use to create your story. So that's always going to be a plus. You can never go wrong with too much video. Usually the biggest problem is that you don't have enough, or you should have left it running a little bit further, or maybe if I just extended it just a little bit, there's always going to be something. So I took this GoPro with me. I walked through the mall. The mall is a place like you never really get, it's static. Everything is where it's located, but I was really looking for content to create something for Instagram, and I wanted to see what was in the Louis Vuitton store. I know they're always focusing on luggage, so I went inside. I noticed that they had some luggage on the side because they're always rebranding luggage. I think Pharrell was in charge of some of that, I should say, design structuring for it. Done a great job for it. And I'm also a fan of slings, so I wanted to see exactly what they had inside. But of course, walking inside the camera store with a big camera, a big mirrorless camera, isn't going to be ideal because you have a microphone attached, possibly a light, whatever. It just seems too bulky. So that vlogging aspect is not necessarily lost, but it's just placed in a smaller, compact form. And you can do the same thing with your phone as well, too. But I just like the fact that you have the GoPro and you can actually use this to go all around. So like I said, looking for little stories, creating content on the go, the GoPro is just a fact. And I think I mentioned that in one of my other videos too, where I talked about the tools that are necessary to create content on the go. I'll put a little link up top here for anybody who hasn't seen. I like monuments. I like things that are just out of the norm. And of course, this mall, this Aventura Mall, it just had a big statue that was just out of the norm. I think it was like a foil man that just was there. Great little statue. But what really enticed me was the slide that they had. It was really for little kids, but at the same time, me, I just couldn't resist it. Took my behind up there, took my GoPro, got in front of the little kids, walked all the way up the swirl with my GoPro and went down the slide. Like, this is just like a fun thing. These are the compact moments that you can get. Like, you can be in a slide, but you can't really hold your phone too much because you have to have something for it. Or you can hold your phone, but it's going to be a little bit hard to get the angle that you want. So with the GoPro, I just had every angle that I could possibly have. And that's what just makes it very good for my storytelling issues. Now, the beach is one of the places that it's a typical. You have sand, beach, buildings, property, whatever the case may be. But the properties are never the same. Once again, you throw the drone up in the air, you get a different picture of what's going on surrounding it, all the buildings, all the avenues, the lakes, everything just looks different. And once again, you're creating your shot. And I think that's one of the best things about photography is that you get to create your own shot. That creates your own style. And a lot of people neglect that because they like to copy. That's when you start to get imposter syndrome. No one likes that at all. So at the fashion show, this was at the Hilton Hotel in Aventura. They held it in a parking lot. It was a great location. Set up their lights, drinks, the backstage where all the models were going. Walking around with a BTS camera, because there's a lot of privacy or whatever, you don't really want everything up in the air. So you might have to be a little bit more controlled with what you're doing. So this is where your DSLR comes in, because now you have your lens, you're actually intentional about your shot. This is where this Canon always comes into play, I should say. Or even if you have a Sony, it's just about using the camera or the tool for the job that creates your story. Sometimes carrying a camera can be a hassle, of course, but when you're set up for a job and you're really trying to make sure that you get all the possible angles or content, your DSLR can go there. Now, every camera is different. One might be able to shoot 8K, like in this camera, one might be able to shoot 6K or even 4K. Those are just like the industry standards, so to speak. So that's where the DSLR really comes in handy, because you want to get that quality. Because in this instance, even though it wasn't outside, there was a lot of places where there were bright lights, so you don't want it to be clipping too much. And then also because with the Canon, you can also shoot at C-Log 3. So of course, protecting your shadows, very good for that. Ultimately, you want to think about what gear works for you. I was surrounded by so many people that had just different types of gear because once again, this is a fashion show. So, you had Blackmagic cameras, you had Sony cameras, Nikons, whatever it is, you name it, they're always going to be there. But you have to think about what works for you and what works for your workflow. And I think that at times, even though you're supposed to have, it would be better for you to have a tripod where you're shooting fashion because you want to get those still shots. A lot of times I find myself shooting handheld because I want to get a lower angle. And depending on where I'm sitting, you might not be able to get that type of shot. But in this case, I was sitting in the front. So I was able to get those low shots and get those good pictures. It's almost like a hero shot, so to speak, where you're shooting from the bottom upwards towards the model. That was just like an epic thing for me when it comes to creating your storyline for your pictures. The typical person shoots straight on, head forward. So, you get your picture and it's average, it's okay. But sometimes you just want different angles. You might shoot from the left, you might shoot from the right, you might shoot from above, whatever the case may be. But when you use your camera, always try to create some sort of story when you're taking a picture. That's what's going to separate you from the rest of the pack. Within the fashion show, they also had a car painting scenario. And this is one of those scenes where you just want to make sure that you always have your camera on you for the right moment. Car painting, models, fashion, a lot of things are going. It's kind of hard to juggle all of those devices, but you have to pick one. So of course I chose my mirrorless camera. I was able to go around, capture those shots that I need to help with the story, and it works. One of the reasons why I carry my camera with me at all times is because you never know what type of shots that you're going to get. You never know what type of shots that you could create. And especially in this industry of fashion, photography, or even content creation, there's a million and one things that are always going on at once. So it's always good to carry your camera with you. You guys let me know in the comments, which one do you prefer carrying? Do you carry your camera? Do you carry your drone? Do you carry some sort of action camera? Or do you just do the simple thing and use your phone? It's not a bad idea just to use your phone either, because nowadays phones have a lot of settings in it that make a good picture. But to each his own. So drop a comment, let me know below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget, stay creative and always carry your camera with you. Peace. Yeah, I know a security guard behind me following me because he see me with the drone. Side, I'll peep you. I'll peep you, security guy.